Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. Number 2 in the Conquest Calamity Chaos difficulty. Yesterday we did the Void of Chaos Orc, and now we are here to do the Advent of Radiance Hinata. Her new field effect is that she decreases the defense of everybody, yourself and her, by 50%, which honestly, isn't the worst thing in the world, but she is quite chonky now with 13.2 million HP, and she has high defense, so cut this in half, essentially, is what you're going to really have. But she's going to have all of her guard and super guard and the element resistance, so she is going to be, fairly tanky, and she's nerfing greens and she nerfs crit, so you got to find a few ways around it. This field effect is not nearly as impactful, though, as like the AoE buff from the orc, so that is nice. You just have to do 13 million HP, which this is a light enemy, so if you have any semblance of the Warrior's Mind 2.0 team, this is a joke. But we're gonna use it anyways. So let's make a joke. Okay, so physical team, Warrior's Mind 2.0. We've got Shuna, Tempest Leap Benimaru, free-to-play Xion, so we've got that avenue covered, and then Gobwa, Violet, and Blanc. We know this team does absolutely ridiculous numbers of damage. You technically don't even need Benimaru to do this. Like, you could literally bring anybody. And because everyone else is physical, you could bring a magic unit or a physical unit. You could bring alt damage, you could bring a pierce unit, well, more pierce power, I guess, because we're already technically piercing. But you could really do anything. Synergy team, you could bring Diablo if you wanted to. That would totally work. You could bring Divine General Raphael. But we're starting with 36 points. So here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got a good hand of 4 Blancs and 2 Violets, which means we could full Rainbow Convert turn 1, which gives us already a Blanc ult. And now we just need to go like another turn or so and just build this up. So we got more Blanc Orbs, so let's alt swap. Let's go ahead and put control on. Let's use the extra skill points just to make sure we can cap out, plus the orange buff and the free 40 points. And then we'll bring Gobwa in and we'll put her debuffs on. And then turn 3 we'll just nuke, because that's all we're going to need to do. We don't need to stay in here any longer than that. So debuffs, we don't need to like cap out Gobwa's Pierce skill. We don't need to get a butt ton of stacks of control on Violet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll have a Violet ult for extra weakness strike. Cool, I guess. And we're doing 174k on the 200% orb, which, doesn't seem like a lot for her HP bar, but remember she's got a chunky HP bar. But 180 points, double Shuna, EX ult for Blanc. That's pretty much all we need to do. So let's go ahead and buff, and then pierce buff, and then if I'm going to. You probably don't have to. But we're going to bring in Benimaru because we have exactly 40 points left over. So we might as use his 40-point buff. And just make us slightly stronger here. And we're not even going to use Shuna because there's no point, because she's going to die. So Violet and then Blanc. Violet does 1.9 million, 25% support, and then 47.5 million damage. So highly unnecessary, highly funny though. And there is the physical team and free-to-play unit mission complete. Very easy. Now let's come back with the magic team. Alright, we're going to be nice and easy. The Frieren team with the new addition of Blanc for the double damage buff. This team I don't think really needs any introduction. It is 4 magic units. Stark is the free-to-play, so he's got that mission covered. And then Blanc is Blanc. The combination of having Blanc's 2-turn buff and Raphael's 1-turn protection gauge buff means that we are in no danger of missing out on stacks of Himmel. And then we know that Fern and Frieren can do lots and lots of damage. But for funsies, we're going to go the full 8 turns just because I found out that we kind of need to. So we do have 3 orbs, so we're going to use the steel from Raphael to give us 6, and then we'll bring in Frieren, and then we'll send all this, and we'll be looking good. That does get us her EX ult. We're going to go to turn 8 because, maybe you don't have enough power, maybe your gear is not as good, maybe you don't have a level 120 fully rocked out Fern and Frieren, so maybe you do need a little bit extra power. So we are going to make use of that extra power by ensuring that 1, we can get the full buffs on, and 2, we can get the Unleash Magic State from Frieren activated on turn 5, so that by the time turn 8 rolls around, we're ready to go. And certainly if you're confident, you could not go to turn 8, you can go to like turn 6 or 7 or something, and you'll probably still be able to do it, especially with the double damage increase from BLANC. But we stole some more orbs, we used the BLANC buff, now we've got the EX ult for Raphael. The weakness strike doesn't really matter on this stage because the weakness strike stacks we're getting from Raphael does not hit BLANC, who is, it won't hit BLANC because she's not on Adventurer, and it doesn't matter to Frieren and Fern because they're type neutral. They're light, so literally does not count. If we were to make BLANC the damage dealing character here, which we certainly could do, then it would matter quite a bit as far as how many ults we've sent with Raphael to lower the weakness resistance from Raphael's own buff. But we're not trying to make BLANC the DPS because we just made her the DPS in the first clip, so trying to keep some quote-unquote variety here. But if you've played with the Frieren team, you know how this works. We're stacking, and we're converting, and there's not much to go here. So now it's turn 4. Let's go ahead and use this. In the event that you do find that you are dying rather quickly, Stark is also serving an extra purpose, and that is his ability to tank, be invincible, and taunt. So probably best going to be used on turn 5, 6, and 7, where you don't want Fern or Frieren or someone to die because of the defensive debuff. And maybe Hinata really, really hates one of those characters, and so they do get hit quite often. Well, starting from turn 5, which is now, you can just use Stark to taunt. And it does also put a 20% synergy resistance debuff on Hinata, which means that when you do use synergy, you will hit harder. Not quite sure what I'm doing here, but we have both the ults for Fern and Frieren now. We do need to bring Frieren in to use her Unleash Magic State, so we'll do that. And then we can ult swap, or we could not. Like, it really doesn't matter, because we're going to have Himmel to convert that 1 green orb that comes in. But also, we have a Raphael ult anyway, so it doesn't matter. So let's use the Raphael buff now. Just get the attack buff on, because the weakness resistance debuff that Raphael does, again, doesn't matter to type neutral Fern and Frieren. So we're just getting the attack buff, essentially. But now we have taunted, and we're technically invincible for this turn, so no matter what Hinata does to Stark, he's not going to die. And the only way we can get hit now is if Hinata does an AoE, or she does a counterattack. But 1, 2, 3 hits to Stark, his health will go down, but he will not die. He will always be at like 1 HP if she actually removes his HP like that. So let's just do it again. Turn 6, you're protected. Turn 7, you're protected, and then turn 8, you nuke, and she's not going to hit you. So he is serving a couple different purposes. Like, we have ult swapped with him, we're taunting, so it's working out. And now we just need to make sure that we have enough points, and we do need to reapply the orange buff here. So we just need to make sure we have enough points to use the big time buffs, because we've got 2 90-point skills from Fern, we've got the 90-point skill from Frieren, we've got the 90-point skill from BLANC. So that's why I wanted to use the Raphael skill first. And now you can see that Stark should have died like 4 times right there. But he's invincible, and he will remain invincible on this turn as well. And so we don't really need to do anything here. We're just going to send everything. We're going to cap out on points. There's no real usage of trying to steal anymore. So just going to send the 3 alts and the 3 oranges. And now we're still invincible unless we get countered, which we don't. and then Stark will continue to live and counter back. So there's the Unleash Magic kicking in, lowering the resistance that Hinata has kind of built up. We're going to negate most of that, if not all of it. I don't remember what she's up to as far as her defenses, but it's not really going to matter because we've got 2 fairly strong alts coming in, plus a support alt from Raphael, which, I mean, isn't anything to write home about, but it will be buffed. So we've already used Blanc's buff. Now we use the other three buffs. Technically, we had enough points to use the Raphael buff this turn, but details. Again, it wouldn't really have done anything different. 1 more stack of Helm for another 20% element damage, and then we'll send Roth and Frieren and Fern. So Raphael does 697k, Frieren does 11 million, and then Fern will finish up with, I guess we're going to watch it. Okay. So 11 million damage with Frieren, type neutral, no extra damage buff from the Protector, no extra weakness strike stacks from Raphael, and Fern does 18 million, so she would have one-shot to begin with. So there we are. There is a mostly magic team with the free-to-play character completing that set of missions done. Also, just as a little morsel of entertainment, in case you don't have the Warriors Mind team and you need to do the physical mission, you can also do the job with the Commander team, because Renard is giving extra damage against light enemies. Your nuking character will be the single target Dark Diablo, who can put up okay numbers for right now. And then we've got the free-to-play Glenda. We've got 4 physical units, Hinata, Glenda, Shizu, and Diablo. And then we've brought Divine General Raphael, because the stacking alt buff, the stacking synergy buff, and then the dark buff, which we're nuking with the dark character. So this is a traditional blue stacking team. Like, there's nothing that we really need to go through that much about. Also, it takes a while because it is a blue stacking team. And Diablo does have the ability to alt rush. However, one thing to note is that his Lord's Ambition skill, as you can see right here, does not negate that permanent defensive debuff. It will negate anything else that Hinata or any stage wants to put on, but that permanent debuff, because it's a stage effect, he cannot get rid of it. So he will also have permanently lowered defense, even with the skill that should negate debuffs like that. So just please keep that in mind. If your game is not bugged out if you use it and it's still there. That's just the effect of the stage, not the effect of an enemy. So in turn 4, we can use the Lord's Ambition skill to still alt-rush Diablo, and that will ensure that we can get his EX alt. And as long as we're sending full hands of blues, we're going to be looking good. And if you have extra points, then you could use stacks of Raphael. Probably won't use that many because it does kind of get expensive, and this is not a resetting cost kind of team like what Raphael is meant to be used on. But you're going to just do this for 8 turns until you hit turn 8. And you've got the EX alt with Diablo. You use the Raphael buff, and now it's time to use everything else. So the synergy rate, the physical and EX damage, but we're going to just do that first, and then we can bring Hinata in. And then now we can use everything else. So the alt and synergy down, the physical and EX alt damage, the personal Diablo buff, which is attack and synergy power, combined with the dark attack, plus the weakness strike stacks from Renard, plus the alt resistance down stacks also from Renard, plus the alt and synergy power stacks from Raphael, means that Diablo does 23 million damage. So maybe not with this exact team setup that you can run, maybe you don't have Raphael or something, but it is another physical team that can get the job done. So there's 3 teams technically, and this also does the physical mission and the free-to-play. So if you have any other teams that you've used that's not Reckoning to clear the stage, especially with the magic units, please let me know in the comments below. But that's it from me. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.